I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Bob Woodward, the writer, journalist, investigative reporter, the guy who took down Nixon, is responsible for 2 Pulitzer Prizes and has written almost 40 books. Personally, I have only read 30, and I mean books total in my whole life, not Bob Woodward's books. Anyway, Bob's new book coming out is called War, and it talks about Trump, Biden, and the last few years. And again, this was written by a serious journalist who tapes every interview. This guy never talks about Jewish space lasers or Biden controlling the weather or microchips and vaccines. Oh, and one more sidebar. So Biden's a dementia-riddled old man or a supervillain who controls the weather. Pick a side, idiots! So in War, Woodward has found out that since 2021, Sweet Potato Hitler has had 7 phone calls with Vladimir Putin. And look, we know they've been buddies since 1987. We know that Trump was going to give Putin a $30 million penthouse in Trump Tower, Moscow. And, you know, Trump had the 2013 Miss Universe pageant in Russian. They are good friends. I mean, really good friends.
Putin even sent me a present, beautiful present with a beautiful note.
We just left Moscow. He could not have been nicer.
Russia is like, I mean, they're really hot stuff.
I think I'd get along very well with Vladimir Putin.
Then he called me a genius. He said Donald Trump is a genius or something. He said some good stuff about me. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily.
It's like talking on the phone while taking a dump, friends. We all have one of those. So, what's the big deal that Trump's talking to his murderous dictator BFF? Well, this. When Trump left the White House, he took boxes and boxes of top secret and classified documents. He then went through them like a rabid beaver on a meth binge, according to NARA. And when the National Archives and Record Administration got them back, they were all out of their folders and just kind of thrown in a box with, I'm sure, tanning lotion. They then asked if Trump had anything else, and he said, nope, that's it, nothing else, nothing, zero. The FBI then had to raid Bed-Bug-A-Largo and get the documents. They found documents so sensitive that the FBI counterintelligence personnel and DOJ attorneys needed extra clearances before they could even look at them. And allegedly, all the documents had donut crumbs and chocolate fingerprints on them. So, Trump had the top secret classified documents, including nuclear secrets, which he stored in the shitter at his shithole for over 2 years from January 20th, 2020 to August 8th, 2022. And in that time, he talked to Putin at least 7 times. And I'm sure it was just about, workout programs and internet memes. And he didn't share top secret classified documents, including nuclear sites and military capability. During the same time, Trump also had the Saudis over for a golf tournament while he had all those top secret documents. Oh, and his family got $2 billion from Saudi. I'm sure it's a coincidence, like Roger Stone getting pardoned and Jeffrey Epstein getting suicided. Sorry, he fell. A coincidence.
Yes, it's done.
Trump has had a lot of crime coincidences, don't you think? I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. God damn, man. Every time the guy, new shit comes out about the guy, people go, it didn't happen. Yet there was a laptop from Hunter that flew around the world 42 times before anything even got dealt with. I don't even understand. Jesus! Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. How you doing? What's going on with me as always? The lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highland Air.
Vega the only one.
So I want to say it's fall, and fall in Southern California after climate change. It's
sure?
You can just tell the leaves are turning brown from the 114 degree heat, and the fires are burning wildly.
Yes.
It's fall.
It's only fall inside of a Target and Starbucks.
It's crazy, man. And I have a question about pumpkin spice. Why is it this weird thing that only comes out? Why can't you have it all the time? Is there like some weird pumpkin season that we don't know that modern science can't come up with some sort of syrup that tastes like pumpkin? Because what is this special? Is this organic?
Is a pumpkin season.
I understand, but this is a flavored thing. There's no pumpkins in this. The Starbucks employees don't go out to the pumpkin patch, pick the best pumpkins for their pumpkin spice lattes, then grind them up and make it taste like pumpkin. This is a chemical thing made by Dow Chemical. So why can't we have it all year?
Yeah, we can get sweet potatoes and yams.
Why can't we just? We can get sweet potatoes and yams.
If you had Christmas all year, you wouldn't care about Christmas.
Oh no.
I'm just talking about a drink. Christmas is celebrating.
This is the intro to the season.
Well, it's
The shopping season.
It's quite
That's-
it's quite early because it's still 100 degrees outside.
And
Wanted to talk about this Putin, Trump talking to Putin thing. I don't understand. Okay, so they flipped out about Joe Biden's son having hookers and doing crack. Freaked out.
That's just a local domestic thing.
But as Ray always says, it wasn't even. He was never in charge of anything
Mhm.
in the government. They investigated him for 3 years. Him and Biden, nothing. And they investigated that. How many millions of dollars that took? We now have proof that Trump not only stole top secret documents, which he's being indicted for, but now we have time that while he had those top secret documents, he was on the phone with Putin repeatedly.
Yeah.
And he had the Saudis over for that live golf tournament, and like one of the prime ministers of Saudi happened to be at the golf tournament. Why? Why was the prime minister at the golf tournament? Shouldn't he be running Saudi? So he had all these documents there. That was in 2022. That was about 2 months before they raided his house, and which probably they raided his house probably because someone went, "Hey, fuckers, the Saudis are coming over, and we still haven't got these top secret classified documents yet. Do you think we should go get those?"
They're all laid out on the welcome mat.
Yeah, exactly. he was and why is a collator working like crazy at Mar-a-Lago? What's going on?
They're running all the copy machines. I can hear in the comments, everyone's going to be, Biden had them too. Biden had them too. Okay, no. Biden had a few.
He had
and it was
five,
just
then he
like-
went and found them.
And he volunteered them.
They knew he had them because he volunteered them.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
aides found them and
Yes.
they called and said, "Hey, we have these," and
He-
they
here.
weren't nuclear secrets. And
Pence did
then
it too.
Pence, same thing. And then they both said, "Please come and search to make sure that there's nothing else here."
I'm gonna
so
roll
tired
the
of
vet
this.
outside, go through the house, go through the
Yeah.
offices, everything. He didn't make the FBI raid his home.
Right. That's the issue, is that he knowingly held onto them, and then he lied and said he didn't have
And he moved
the
them.
additional ones. Yeah, he moved them
He
around.
moved them and then told the guy, "Don't tell anybody you moved them," and they were in the shitter. They put them in the shitter.
He framed them, put them in his fucking lobby.
I just don't understand.
Fuck.
So
He also told his lawyer, what happens if we just lie and say we don't have them? And his lawyer wrote that down on his notes for that
he
meeting.
made a note about it.
Yeah, he ended up testifying against him at the grand jury.
This guy's an idiot. I'm writing this down. No one's gonna believe he fucking said
It was,
this.
was it Evan Corcoran?
Yeah,
Evan?
right.
He ended up testifying for Jack Smith at the grand jury, even though he still represented him in another case, because he made notes at every meeting where Trump was talking about holding off the DOJ, and then what if we just lied to them? Then he went and asked the people who run the surveillance at Mar-a-Lago, how can we erase
And the pool guy.
all this foot? Yeah,
Can
I
you
mean,
move all the
it's like,
boxes that are on the FBI.
Fuck, I forgot about
and
all these
again,
details.
he had nuclear secrets.
Yeah.
He
nuclear-
had
where they
war
were-
strategy.
Mhm.
I mean,
our capabilities. He had our
tired
military
of people
capabilities.
just being dumb.
It's not that they're dumb; they're actually actively evil. I think I said this this week. I said, "Listen, if you, after all this shit that's come out about this dude, after everything he's done, after his entire failure as president, if you still support him, then you're just him now.
Yeah.
You go in the same category." I was giving people passes. Well, maybe they're dumb. Maybe no. You're just him now.
Mhm.
Because here's how I know that. Because if Obama or Clinton or anybody had done a tenth of what Trump has got away with, you guys would have shut him down. You'd have been protesting like you did on January 6th, which was a museum trip. Get your museum buddy and bring your AK. AR, sorry.
How does we keep saying this, but he really does. He surprises us at every turn. He out-monsters himself. He's a monster that just keeps like out-dumbing himself.
Rave said that, right? But he keeps getting away with it. How does he keep getting away with it?
How is he neck and neck?
I don't know. How do
With
we not
Kamala.
have internet in
Oh,
the
yeah.
studio?
Yeah.
Just trying
because
to link
Spectrum-
my phone
because-
right.
to the
Because
Hold on.
Spectrum sucks. That's why. Because Spectrum And not only that, but we pay for really fast internet for the studio,
like fucking
and it's never there. We never get the speeds we're supposed to get. So we're supposed to get like whatever 250, whatever, and you click on it's 32. And what do you do? Call them because you can't get a hold of anybody,
right? Because they're at 32.
You can't get it. Because their phones don't work either because they're all on internet phone lines of a Spectrum. So I bet you Spectrum uses something else.
I think Spectrum complains about Spectrum that they can. we're out. We're having an outage.
He gets away with it because people are dumb.
Yeah.
People lack critical thinking. It's completely missing now, and I see these stupid posts, some from my family, and most all from my family. And okay, so for example, let me just say a member of my family, a married in member of my family, has been on Gab for now 2 years, and it's become a fixation.
It's given her a brain tumor
to the point that she's always saying to my dad, I'm going to get off of it. I'm not going to look at that anymore. It's almost become like a jonesing thing. And it was started by a self-proclaimed white supremacist.
Right.
And it is inundated with false information, fake news stories, AI generated videos. She, in the last 2 years, has become pro-Putin, thinks Putin is a better man than any politician in this country. She now denies the Holocaust. 9/11 never happened. It's false. This weather controlled.
COVID.
Oh God, COVID wasn't real. Yeah. And some people, quote, some people are just meant to die. I mean, it's like bananas. And I think that I think education is not valued anymore and critical thinking isn't valued. I was talking to my brother yesterday and he was trying to tell me that, all this weather is caused by a volcano.
The whole planet. The whole planet. Whole planet.
Tonga volcano. And I said, well, certainly that eruption raised temperatures in the sea, but
nearby, not worldwide.
And it's not the reason for climate change. And two things can exist in the same space at the same time. And that's what Republicans don't seem to get. They think that the exception proves the rule. If I can find one trans swimmer in Virginia, then it's happening everywhere.
Every one of your kids is getting changed, his sex changed.
Yes.
Yeah. On the way home from school, you're going to send your kid to school. He's going to come back. Your boy's going to come back a girl.
Exactly. And so I said back to him, I said, yes, scientists do believe that it raised the temperature in the sea, but also climate change is happening. Yeah. And here's NASA's website, and feel free to read all these articles. And then he told me, you really need to lighten up. And it's...
But this is the part that bothers me the most, and we see it all the time. And by the way, to you people that we're announcing gigs, I'm doing a new show. It's a great new show. It's really funny, and so they'll be like, here's the entire post. You ready?
Oy.
And here's that. Hey, gonna be in Burbank and Brea the next 2 weeks. Come on down to the show.
And here's a cute video from Love Is Evil where I'm talking about my new girlfriend.
And then we're gonna be doing a California tour up north. Fuck you, libtard, dumb shit. Fuck off. And that's basically. I didn't do anything. There's nothing in the show.
You need to die.
You need to die. Hey, starts out. Hey.
Oh, that was an email that we got.
And so
you can't say it, right?
Yeah, you can't say that.
Even though they said it. Okay. So he got an email and the subject line was, hey. Mm-hmm. And we were like, we're intrigued. We're in. Tell me more. Click open.
Only because that hey was kind of hey. Hey, what's hey? It wasn't me.
Yeah. Hey is friendly.
And the email body was something like, you should stop giving your political opinions on Instagram, where he apparently follows him to see said political opinions.
You could just follow me.
Then left Instagram to go to his website to find his contact page to get to his email. You should stop giving your political opinions on Instagram. Stick to comedy. That's what they always say. Kill yourself.
He has the internet, right? He clearly has all the tools at his disposal, yet he decides to go to a comedian.
But here's the problem. It's not my opinion. Like, as you know, on this podcast, I do not write anything down. I will do jokes on the facts.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't have opinions here. This is what's happening on the planet. And the problem is that we don't have, our advertisers understand what we do. Whereas you go to MSNBC, you go to CNN, you go to Fox. Well, Fox has an agenda, definitely. CNN does too now because everybody they always couch it in this weird. They've made Trump this weird, like he's viable. Like, you know, the other candidate. No. You mean the criminal who's got 34 convicted and he's a rapist?
Yeah.
And he has to pay her $90 million? That guy and Kamala, you know, it's kind of neck and neck. And their policies. What, are you fucking talking serious?
Well, here's the thing about this.
But they have to, because they have to keep their audience. They have
Yes.
to keep Trump's audience.
Well, Trump's audience. Well, this is what Trump has done. He's made facts become opinions. That's why when you were stating facts, the MAGA thinks it's your opinion.
Right.
But because Trump has just fucking fucked up their brain so much that he has said everything is hoax, fake news. This is a fact. I don't think science knows.
But also, can we call him a pussy too? Like, so he kept talking about how Kamala's not going to do any interviews. Kamala needs to do some interviews. No one knows who the hell she is. So she's literally done what, nine or 10 now?
Yes.
Howard Stern.
Yes.
The
She did the
View.
Great ones,
View. She did 60
Colbert,
Minutes.
Yes.
60
Colbert.
Minutes.
And Trump bailed on all of them. Said he wouldn't do it. That's a coward.
Yeah.
That is a coward.
Well, tell why he bailed on 60 Minutes.
60 Minutes, he said, because they said something. They made a statement. The last time he was interviewed, Leslie Stahl said that I forget what it was. It was something to the effect that she said that he killed one of his kids, whatever. And the guy 60 Minutes, they start off the interview with Kamala going, Leslie Stahl never said that. It was some crazy shit that he said. So he didn't want to do the 60 Minutes interview because he demanded an apology for something that Leslie Stahl didn't say.
Oh my God. God damn, he's disgusting. He's so
But
disgusting.
I thought that it was because of fact checking.
Oh, that's something.
That was why
That
he
was one of
didn't
the
do
rules.
60 Minutes, because they were going to fact check
You're right. That's what you
in
covered.
real time.
So he said, and then the guy goes, what's his face? The head guy at 60 Minutes goes, we fact check every story. We're 60 Minutes.
That's why it's 60 minutes.
It was kind of like
It's one question. It takes us an hour to fact check it.
Right. We fact check everything for an hour, and then we come back.
But I
And-
think we know that his people know that he could not get through 60 Minutes without
I
a
think
prompter, without talking about screaming, they're eating the dogs, like whatever crazy shit he's on today.
But here's the thing. So now that's gone away now. So Hunter. That was their big thing. Hunter and Biden are corrupt. The Republicans gave up on it because their own witnesses said we have no evidence of any crime. So that went away. Then immigration. Well, the Republicans killed the bill. The bill that we had a bill that Republicans were saying this is the strictest immigration bill we've ever seen since Reagan. Killed it. So he has an issue. Immigrant. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets the people that live there. So that's kind of gone. Now everyone's debunked that. Now it's gone away. Boom. Hurricane. FEMA response. FEMA response is shit. They're killing people. They're eating the dogs of the people that survived the hurricanes, and they're eating.
They're now saying that if you go to FEMA to ask for the money or their help, they will seize your property. They'll seize your land. So they had to say that in the briefing today, that is not happening. Please go to these representatives and get help. You need help.
It's raining cats and dogs. They're eating them.
They're eating the raining
Biden
cats
said
and
that.
dogs.
He goes, they're not going to take your property.
Yeah.
He had to say that.
So our president came out and gave a moron speech today.
Yes.
He had to come out and go, hey, morons, listen up. He's full of shit.
Even Ron DeSantis came out, and who else of the other states?
She said,
Oh, God. Brian Kemp. I had this discussion with my dad yesterday. My dad told me, because he's listening to this insanity, and he told me, my dad, a world traveler, college graduate, officer in the Marine Corps.
But he's got a crazy
Was
woman.
in Tiananmen
corporate
Square.
jet pilot.
He's got a crazy
I don't
woman
want to
living
say
with him.
that. I don't want to. I'm not saying
I was
that.
gonna
I'm
do
just
it.
saying.
I was going to do a joke. All men have that. So I was being too vague.
Yes.
I was
I'm
going
just
for a
saying.
joke.
So he says to me yesterday that, apparently FEMA's not doing anything. They're not even there. And I was like, Dad, I said, your own governor, Brian Kemp, just came out and made a statement. the representatives, the senator in
Wow.
North Carolina, Ron DeSantis. I mean,
Well, here's the thing. But I want to say I love our podcast right now. I was just thinking that I understand why certain people listen to us because we talk about it very calmly and I mean, okay,
Well,
all right, I will back off that. You guys talk about it calmly.
I don't feel calm about it today.
But I am to the point now where you just made me sound sane as you're talking. I get why people listen because you sound kind of sane. You sound like so. As you guys know, if we find something that's off, when Menendez got busted, Bob Menendez, Democrat, got busted, we did an Armageddon update about him, about how much he had stolen, everything. You know, I haven't gone out. I don't know what's going on with Mayor Adams. I'm just going to let that develop a little further. But they've gone after Democrats like crazy. And so they're weaponizing the DOJ. Well, now we've gotten major Democrats, one of the biggest cities in the world, taken down. He's getting indicted. Then we got Bob Menendez had to quit Congress.
Hunter Biden.
So they go after, they went after Hunter Biden. They go after everybody. So at one point, do you just go, he's a fucking criminal? Okay, he's a criminal.
Yeah.
In fact, some people have done that. I'd rather have a guy with 34 felonies. I'm voting for the guy with 34 felonies who's going to make eggs cheaper. That was a T-shirt I saw. And I was like, you are the dumbest human being I've ever encountered.
This is the guy who single-handedly, I feel like who just came out and kind of explained that. Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban said
he was great. You gotta love that guy.
that how he was explaining how Trump basically single-handedly caused our insane inflation through the oil deal that he fucked up between Russia and Saudi.
Can I explain? If you haven't seen it, guys, look it up, Mark Cuban. You have to listen to me for a second, but I'm going to do 30 seconds on it. So Mark Cuban said, and we've been talking about this since it happened.
Yeah.
We've been talking about during COVID. During COVID, the oil prices were so low. Russia and Saudi, who are friends with Trump, were so they actually at one point oil went negative, which means they were saying just take it. Yeah. That was for like 3 days. It went negative, like it was below zero. So Trump sat down with Saudi and Russia and worked a deal where they cut production 20%. That deal extended to the April after the 2020 election. So no matter who was going to be president, that deal stayed in place.
When demand skyrocketed.
Yes. So then we have less oil production by 2 million barrels a day, at least 2 million barrels a day. And then we've got the pandemic's over. Biden's getting everybody vaccinated, and stores which were empty during Trump and COVID are now full of goods. People need to buy shit. So gas prices go crazy. Groceries go crazy. Why? Because gas. How do you get shit to the store? You got to put it in trucks. How do trucks run? On gasoline. So then what happens is, those companies put those gas costs on the goods. So Mark Cuban breaks down that basically had Trump not done that gasoline deal and just let everything flow. Because, by the way, he wasn't protecting you and me. He was protecting those fucking companies. He was protecting Exxon and Chevron, and he was protecting Saudi, and he was protecting Russia. So he never fucking gives a shit about you. And then Mark Cuban breaks it down so clearly where you're like, oh, right. Because inflation doesn't happen on Thursday. It doesn't happen on Thursday. It takes a while. So... And then that cut, those lasted till the April after Biden was already in, January, February, March, 4 months.
How much more evidence does his fans need?
I think we're beyond
so he clearly doesn't give a fuck about the citizens of this country because the COVID thing with Bob Woodward, he gave a COVID test to Putin when we needed it.
Oh, that was true too. I forgot.
So then he favors Putin and Saudis.
Can you look up the testing thing?
The oil thing instead of us, right?
He covered his buddies' asses. Yes,
he gave tax cuts to the rich, not us.
Right?
Like he only gives a fuck about himself and his rich dictators
because he's transactional. So on the other side of that, you've got corporations. Or you save. So Trump needs. Oh, by the way, Kamala, it was reported today, she's raised $1 billion since she started running.
And she's been in 3 months?
Yeah. So here's the thing. So Trump basically, he figured out why do you think, how much money do you think that saves Saudi by cutting oil production back and making the prices skyrocket? So how much profit do you think Saudi
have to count
it in
Lamborghinis. How many curved buildings?
How many curved impossible buildings that float in Dubai are we paying for?
Beautiful flower island.
So $2 billion to Jared Kushner is nothing.
Yeah.
And how do you hide that money so it's not directly given to Trump? Oh, it's an investment fund for Jared Kushner.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Kushner. Oh, you mean the guy who's run an investment firm his whole life? No, he's never run an investment firm. We're just going to give him $2 billion to set up an investment firm. I'm sorry, the Saudi government's just going to hand over this kid $2 billion to start an investment firm that he's never run before.
And what's that guy doing right now?
Well, there was a report. There's been no profits made off that money. Jared Kushner, on the other hand, has taken $150 million in fees.
But never returned a profit to those investors.
Never given them
that
any
keep
money back.
Giving him money.
Oh,
It's very good.
speaking of not giving any money, we should probably look this up. I don't know if this is real or not, but didn't Trump create a GoFundMe for the hurricane relief? And it's at like 7 million or something, and none of that money has gone to anyone.
Is that true to like today?
I
have not
let's
heard
look that up. I don't want to.
I got to be careful with the internet. I saw one. I was flipping through Instagram, and there was one that said Sean Combs found dead in cell. That was 2 days ago, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I did a deep dive, and the next thing I'm buying some goods from China. I'm like, why am I buying this?
AI.
So the internet's always right, but Trump.
It says, fact check. People are saying he has a GoFundMe, that it's authorized by him.
Wow.
Yeah, the Reuters did a fact check on Monday, launched a GoFundMe that has raised over $5 million as of last Friday. This was for Helene, not Milton. Is it Milton? People, I don't know. I don't think it's gone to anyone yet, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean,
well, his track record is he also he redistributed funds from FEMA. He did exactly what he is claiming Biden is doing.
Right. That's what
as always.
Here's how you can always be. Whenever Trump says somebody did something, it's because he already did it. And
Yes.
He's trying to bust them for it. Oh, the thing from FEMA, he shifted funds. What did he do? He took funds from FEMA when he was president. First of all, he refused to any blue states. They had to argue with him. They like, no, I'm not going to give them money. They didn't vote for me.
he wasn't going to help California
fires.
during the
The fire-
wildfires,
during the
and they
wildfires.
had to go.
Rake the forest, he said.
Olivia Troit said they had to go and show him how many people voted for him in California, because it's a lot. Because we have the
There's
whole
MAGA,
Central
yeah.
Valley
Yeah,
and
right.
Orange County, and then he said, okay.
Yep.
It's always
Wow.
about petting up his ego. Supposedly, they've now updated the GoFundMe to say that it would go to Samaritan's Purse and Water Mission, and that an initial disbursement has been made. We don't know. Now they've added the Clinch Foundation and Mountain to Sea Ministries, so we don't know.
Wow, do you see that this is the same guy who is literally? I don't know if he's violated his own law though, because he can't be associated with a charity. So you guys don't even know that his rights.
He can't be on the board.
His rights to be on any board of a charity or start a charity, and his family were revoked forever because
Just in New York, though, right?
is it just in New York? I thought it was forever.
10 years, I think, in New York, but I'll go look.
God, I'm so stupid, man. I hate this guy so much. All right, so 10 years again because he took money from kids with cancer. He said he was going to pay soldiers, going to donate $1 million to veterans. Didn't do it. They had to actually chase him. And I just go, what the fuck? And then you got a guy like Cuban who's started a pharmaceutical online thing where you can get drugs cheap, where you can get like real drugs cheap.
Yep.
And we are lost, and anybody wants this asshole to continue on in a second term. It's like, oh, it was better than him. No, it was by no metric. By no metric.
So he had to acknowledge 19 different admissions of personal misuse of funds at the Trump Foundation. He had to agree to restrictions on future charitable service, which was he couldn't be on the board, I think, for 10 years, and has to do ongoing reporting to Letitia James' office, the AG, in the event he does create a new charity. So he's not barred from creating, he just couldn't sit on the board. And also they required mandatory training for Junior, Ivanka, and Eric. They have already undergone the training. He hasn't. Then the final part of the settlement was he had to shutter the doors of Trump Foundation and pay almost $2 million to 8 different charities.
This is on top of the $25 million he had to pay people that signed up for Trump University.
Right.
And by the way, who signs up for a university with a guy who can't form a sentence? Like
Yes.
who? Like that's the guy. I want to be that guy. How many bankruptcies? Sign me up.
He couldn't sell steaks
Wait,
and water.
steaks, water,
But-
and vodka.
Casinos.
Casinos. He bankrupt 4 casinos. Wait, that guy can teach me how to be just like him. I am super in.
It's New York, because it was office of the AG. I just don't want to say things.
Yeah.
that aren't
No, you're
correct.
right. Keep it factual. I'm right. But here's the
So
thing.
he was banned. All 3 kids and he were banned from leadership roles in any New York charity.
My question is, don't you think if you've actually stolen money from kids with cancer and been such a you're literally a 1-person crime wave?
Yeah, you.
I wonder how many charities he has going in other states. That's
But
interesting.
you see how easy it is to say things that aren't correct because there's so much
Yeah.
to remember and it's
Yeah.
every day. And just you see how that spirals into, now your stepmom says the Holocaust isn't real. It's
Right.
like,
But here, here's the problem you're saying, and I get it. If someone's just going through a dry forest, throwing just hundreds
yes,
of matches,
yes.
you can't fucking put it all out.
Yep.
It's
No.
you can't.
It's a good analogy,
And that's what he does every day. He just throws another match on Tinder, and you're like, and I mean the app Tinder. I mean on dried out Tinder. God, see, we fucked up everything now.
now they're going to say he's on Tinder.
What does Steve Bannon call that? Flood the zone? Is that what he calls it? That's
I guess
that's an
so,
actual
but,
tactic.
But when did we lose that? And
And that's what has now made it okay. So things that were so heinous 8 years ago, that one of those things
that you'd be mocked for,
you would be in prison for,
right?
Yep.
like other military people are
Right,
currently
right.
for one classified document. You're so inundated and flooded that you just start to think, it's what he does.
Mhm.
It's it's no big deal. Other people do it.
I had a long talk with a friend of mine yesterday. And he said that too. He said it's because there's so much of it. And he goes, I'm talking to investors that have millions of dollars, and they go, he's just kidding.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
nothing he said, but everything he said, he did. He didn't. He
Yeah.
wasn't kidding.
Yeah.
I'm going to build concentration camps for Mexicans. He did it. There's nothing he says that he doesn't mean. The fuck are you guys talking about?
There is I feel like there's some cracks happening. There's a silver lining a little bit with, so first off, Kamala is still kind of
This
leading in a lot
optimism
of-
is making me sick.
I'm
Ray and I
trying.
have been optimistic for 8 years. Every
Yeah,
time
I know.
something drops, we're like, aha! And
But-
then fucking nothing.
No, I'm past
On-
it now. I don't think he's
Yeah, I
now,
know.
this is against the law. It's against the Logan Act for him to, from a government office, communicate with Putin.
Right.
And you think he's going to get in trouble for this? Do you think his voters are going to go, holy shit?
Yeah.
Treason. He's committing treason again.
And we can never vote
just-
for him.
I
It's
just
not going to
picture him
happen.
sitting on the dumper, like on the phone with Putin, going, hold on, page 7. Yeah, okay, Montana. I'll give you the longitude and longitude of that nuke
I do
site.
not picture him on the pooper ever.
No, but because as I said in the Armageddon update, Putin's him. They've been friends since '87. You call that dude when you're on the dumper.
when you're tooting for Putin.
Yeah. Like, yeah, man. Hey, man.
I
But
actually didn't realize that I hated the word dumper.
He just said dude for Putin.
on Fox, see, this is what I was.
Hold on. I'm for. Hey, how's it going there, man? I'm tuning for Putin. I am dumping for Trump. Hey, I'm back at you. Back at you, my brother. We are on together.
So over the past several years, around the time our government and our president, Joe Biden, was confronting Vladimir Putin, who is a murderous dictator, who is attacking a country that we are supporting,
Right.
Donald Trump has been secretly talking to him and opposing U.S. military aid to Ukraine. Bob Woodward put out a new book called War. Bob Woodward's been around for a long time.
Took that Nixon, probably one of the most respected, honest journalists ever. He's 81, still
Always
doing it.
backs it up.
Yep.
Donald Trump said he's just a storyteller and he's getting old, obviously, because now he's just
God,
making
of course.
things up. But
30
he
books,
has
no,
now
40
said
books,
that
38
he's
books.
worse than Nixon.
Mhm.
He put that in this last book. But
By far.
among
yeah.
many things that were shocking in it, he reports that Trump spoke to Putin as many as 7 times after he left the presidency. And there would be records of that. Our intelligence community would have a vested interest in not agreeing with that and saying that it happened. But there would be records from in other countries of those calls. It didn't happen in a vacuum.
All those historians that ranked Trump, they all just collectively go, duh.
Yeah.
Of course, he's worse than
He's last.
Nixon.
He's like
Did
you see the list?
One time in 2024, this year, Trump told a senior aide who has told this to Bob Woodward to leave the room at his mansion in Mar-a-Lago so he could, quote, have a private phone call with Vladimir Putin.
So all this scares me in a bunch of different ways. Number one, we know the guy. Listen, and nothing Trump does after all this time should surprise anybody. You know, they're eating the dog. I mean, we can go down the list. You can grab pussy when you want because you're famous. Like, well, it's everything that Jesus spoke of, and and he's violated every commandment repeatedly. What bothers me the most is that this is like national security shit on a level. So the one country that, besides China, that could literally come after us, it could literally send nukes to our soil. He's on the fucking phone with that guy. He's on the phone with that guy while he has 45 boxes of top secret documents that he's been going through that they found in his bedroom, and he's on the phone with Putin. What the fuck?
Like, what is he going to secretly like create an alliance with a fucking our arch nemesis for 50 years?
So the thing is, if you look it up, he's been friends with Putin since '87. He's wanted to be Putin since '87. You know, his buddyship with Kim Jong Un. And someone's pointed out that these guys work him. These dictators just know he's like the dork in the group.
Yeah.
He's like,
Kamala Harris said that.
Yeah. She's not fucking around, man.
Good. I was glad they called it out today because he's just now going around and saying all this crazy stuff. And Laura Loomer, who he had on his plane on the way to the debate, is also a Holocaust denier and evil, said that if Kamala gets elected, the White House will smell like curry. Super racist. Laura Loomer posted that
it still smells like McDonald's from he was
do
in
not
it.
go to FEMA. Do not, if they offer to help, do not accept their help because they're pumping the theory that they're going to seize your land and stuff like that. So you have people who are in the middle of an historic crisis.
And there's another one coming.
And they are terrified of the government agency that's there to help.
Why would they believe these people? Laura Loomer is quack is the word, quack.
Well, do you know what I was thinking about? Because I don't think it makes sense. I find that the more educated people that I know that support him have chosen, he's a little nuts, but I like his policies. They're one policy voters. It's the abortion issue.
Or the taxes,
and they
tax
think
cut
Democrats are evil. Yeah, but people like the person I was talking about, it's like this knowledge is power. I know things that you don't know.
That's not yet.
I have videos.
Oh, did you get that from Normal News?
I'm investigating.
Did you get that from Normal
because
News?
they don't put it there.
Did you get that from the government's websites?
No,
the
because you
government
can't trust them.
Exactly. But if you go,
I have the info. I know things.
But it's wrong.
And I've said that from a buddy of mine. Me and my buddy got in a big argument. I've said this before, a big argument about something one time. And I go, and he gave me some information, and he's a very smart guy. And I listened to him. And I said, all right, do me a favor. Send me your source on that. He goes, because I told him what I had. And then he goes, that's bullshit. I go, all right, so what sources are acceptable to you? So none of the news that does their job, that's news, is okay.
Right.
None of the government agencies that are paid to figure out is okay.
No.
None of that's okay. No, that's all bullshit. Okay, so send me okay, let's you and I agree on a source and we'll go from there. He sends me a skateboarder, ex-professional skateboarder who is now a blogger. And I called him and I go, so this guy's got the inside
one
track.
of my family members sent something from that guy too, where he was on a skateboard with his selfie stick and exposing Joe Biden as a pedophile.
Okay, so where does a skateboard guy get his news?
But that's like, so this guy, this ex-professional skateboarder is your news source, and my sources are nothing.
Speaking of skateboarding, this episode brought to you by Fitbod.
I was thinking
very good to stay in shape. There you go, Fitbod. There's your ad and scene. What more do we need to say once they see that? So you've now been with Fitbod. Next month will be 2 years.
November, I've been working out for 2 years. Yep. I have lost
something that you kept to.
Body fat went from 22% to 18%.
Oh, that's a big jump.
You also stuck with it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Most
Well,
people
that's
don't it's hard to stick with a workout program. So Fitbod is an app, if you don't know already. It's a fitness workout app. Why did you stick with it?
Because they keep changing it up. I'll bring this up. So last night I worked out. I worked out. We came back from the road. I worked out on Monday, and then I worked out Tuesday. And Monday was hard. Monday was one of those. By the way, people. So you get workout stuff, and what I love about it is that there's no one watching you. You got to be motivated to do it. But they give you enough sets, so even if you're not motivated, it's going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
So I get my ass kicked on Monday. And then Tuesday showed up, and I really was like, I don't want to open this. So I put in the muscles I wanted to do. I put in my sets that I wanted. And it came up with this workout that was brutal, but it was short. And then it gave me jump rope because I went to another. I have 4 or 5 different profiles. I have lean and clean, which is just weights, and I have lean and clean cardio, which adds a thing at the end. And I have wherever so I'm at the studio, I only have so much equipment here, so I put all the equipment from the studio here. I've got different equipment at home. I put that. If you have no equipment, it'll still beat you to death.
So basically, you enter what you have,
Right?
And you can have none.
Right.
Just your body.
Weight. But how many times do I complain about the body weight workouts?
That seems to be the worst.
We're on the road.
That or when it wants you to curl 45s or 50s or something. Then you enter what your goals are.
Yep.
And
what
then
you want. Right.
this app uses AI, and it tracks your progress and your recovery and what you've already worked out.
How many
and
workouts?
Builds a customized, tailored workout program for you every day you go use it.
And it tracks your year. Like I went through a calendar and I was like, wow, what do I do? And I've noticed that there was a couple months I was like, oh wow. And it's gone up like this. So because I've been working out, I'm stronger now. Legs used to kill me. I was telling her she used to love legs because she's got amazing legs. And I was like, I would fall down. I would actually, like do lunges and I'd be like, like it just walk the legs. I hated legs.
Yeah.
And now I so that I go, I just did legs hard and I was fine.
Look at my legs.
My core was, I have the leg definition now.
Yep.
Guys, Fitbod, we are not kidding. It's literally less than 1 training session for the whole year.
Yeah, it's badass.
And it is well worth it. I am not kidding you. I still use it. I used it last night. I've already put in what I'm going to do. I'm doing back and tries today. It's already in my thing. After Ken leaves the home, I go downstairs and I work out for an hour and I'm good.
So lock in and stay focused. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. You get 25% off your subscription, or you can just try the app for free for 7 days at fitbod.me/Titus. That's FITBOD.me/Titus. It's a great, great, great app and great price. I mean, crazy.
Listen, anything that I've used for 2 years is a quality
that's
product.
insane.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think people are scared to work out. I know, like, especially when you're starting out and you don't know what you're doing. This, you can you can do at home and watch videos if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
You're already
it's
on your
like,
phone.
Exactly. It just
And
helps
also,
you.
what I love about it too, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. So, it's adjustable and infinitely adjustable. So sometimes they'll go, "All right, Titus, how in shape are you right now?" And it'll bump my curls to 45s, and that's like, okay, that's a bit much. 45s is a lot. And so I go to the thing and I reset the weight to 40 and I see if I can do it. Now I drop it 5 or drop it 10.
And it says loser.
And then it goes, really, bro? And then the next set, I put it back up because I've been humiliated by the app.
Does it give you?
I wish it really did that. That'd be right. Dude.
How specific does it give you for, like, if it puts you at 45 to do curls or whatever? Does it say you need to do this many reps?
Yes. I'll say, but
okay.
So sometimes it'll do that. Like sometimes I'll get, like, some days, depending on what profile I'm using, it'll say 35s, but I got to do 15 reps.
Interesting.
Then it'll say 45 and it'll say 7.
Right.
And so I always do that. I'm like, oh, 45. 3. Okay.
Okay. Right. That's a max day. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but so it tracked it. So it knew my workout Monday was tough. So it backed it down for Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Ray, I go, this is kind
That's
of a short
great.
one.
That's hard to do on your own. Really hard.
Yeah, but AI's doing it. So
Yeah.
it's taking all the information, all the workouts you've done. Like sometimes it won't let me pick. Like if I couldn't do chest hard, it would give me a hard chest. I can't do it 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Like it would be like if I hit chest again, it would go nah, or it'd give me totally different exercises.
I could see in the future we'll have like holograms of ourselves, and they'll just you just turn that on, and then Fitbod will think that it's you,
out.
and you
could train yourself. That'd be great. Your hologram's
Go
like,
ahead, hologram.
what's up, pussy? Let's go.
Yeah.
Titus is yelling at me. I don't like this. I've never been on this side
guy,
of me yelling
he really
at me.
gets me. This guy.
could be your father's.
Oh, yes.
Have your dad.
There you go.
For both of you.
Have
Drill
your
sergeant.
dad as a
Yeah.
hologram.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Just drinking beer the whole time you're working out.
Panty waist.
Move your
Let's
fat
talk
ass.
about the hurricane, guys. This massive here. I've never been scared of Doppler radar before until I saw the pictures of hurricane. I've seen hurricanes where the center was red and the center of Milton was black.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know that was a color. Like it was like all the colors at once in the center. And they said at one point the eye was 4 miles wide. Usually hurricane eyes are 22 miles wide on a bad
That's
one.
like that's Earth's cancer. That's like everyone in this black hole
Yes.
is going to die
Yeah.
in a black hole.
And that I'm always stunned when I see how late people leave.
Or not. No, my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
was today. So my brother was deployed yesterday to Tampa.
we have
And they're not saying, I don't know why they didn't say that in that briefing they did today, like, because people are saying no one's going to help. Well, my brother is,
already there,
he's not National Guard. He's Homeland Security investigator.
and they sent him there.
But yeah, he's already there. And I told him not to shoot at the hurricanes no matter what Donald Trump said.
Did not shoot at them.
And
Which he thinks is hilarious.
I told him to make sure to look for the two guys on the beach this morning who said
Surfing.
it's the best surf that we've ever seen. You don't understand. It's historic. And we're thinking, yeah, it's historic. Oh, no, the waves, because we don't usually get this kind of surf. They're on the beach holding their surfboards. Like,
we don't
bro.
usually get waves on this side.
Yeah.
Are they on this side now?
There was I was watching it, and it was literally like a SNL bit where they were like,
Yes.
yeah, man, but surf though. Yeah, but this is the worst hurricane we've ever seen probably in our lifetime. Yeah, but the surf, man. So he goes, you're not scared? Scared of what, man? No, we're surfing. And I just was
No, the
like,
guy goes, whatever happens, happens.
whatever happens, happens.
I was like,
The philosophy of an idiot.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, happens.
you could just go
Yeah, you
to
don't- it
good
doesn't have
surf
to happen.
places that aren't in the middle
You
of
could also
That could
survive.
happen.
That could happen.
Yeah.
You could make it through,
Right.
not drown.
then go to Hawaii.
Mhm. You can make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess some people didn't want to leave because they didn't want to leave their things behind, and they didn't think that the alternatives were too inviting. That's a direct quote from one lady. She said that they could just ride it out because she didn't want to be in
Literally ride it out.
The write it out people.
A whatchamacallit,
I
one of the centers that they've set up.
I love the write it out people. We're gonna write. Well, we've had a lot of stuff happen over the years, and
She said it's just
We're
a
just
concrete building.
we're just gonna write it out.
To the middle of the country. You're
So
gonna- it's gonna
wait a
ride
minute.
you.
They
Yeah,
just
yeah.
asked them to go 20 miles.
Yeah, like
inland.
Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
You're gonna write out.
Just get off the coast.
There was 200 people killed in North Carolina with
They haven't
with the
even
other one.
found everybody.
They haven't found it. Just currently, there's over 200
Yeah.
people dead. So I just, well, it's Florida, man, and I have another question. They keep saying Marjorie Taylor Greene. He even brought her up today. Said
Yes,
a
he
member
did.
of Congress, Representative Green, said that we are controlling the weather. He said this, and Biden's like, this stuff is just crazy.
He
He actually
it's
said
almost comical.
it's,
right?
it's a joke. it's not a joke. It's
It
a
is a
joke.
joke.
This is a joke.
So she's saying that the government can control
The
weather,
weather.
which she tweeted, whatever. And the insinuation being that the government is throwing bad weather at red states.
Now you can seed clouds, right? In certain areas, and
Is
you
that
can
a
put
real- is that
it is a
really
real
a thing?
thing. Yes, you can seed clouds,
Then
but
why
that's
are they-
not controlling the weather. I
Wait,
mean,
wait,
yeah,
wait.
by definition, okay, yeah.
Wait, you can see cloud. Look up cloud seeding. Is that real? Because someone else said something. Some guy talked about. There was Operation Popeye. There was some guy. I love these people.
Cloud seeding is a weather modification technique that improves a cloud's ability to produce rain or snow
Right.
by introducing tiny ice nuclei into certain types of sub-freezing clouds, not in Florida. These nuclei provide a base for snowflakes to form.
You're not creating a fucking hurricane of all hurricanes
to get some skiers in
Yeah,
Florida.
to get some
Well,
surfers.
the snowboarders, the snow,
Yeah,
the snowboarders
right.
in Florida,
Right.
which is that makes it. Then we have by far the dumbest government ever. Yeah, all right, let's see these clouds. This causes a hurricane now. Why? Because we're going to get some snowboarding in Tampa. What?
Yeah, this is just to make existing clouds that are sub-freezing already, give them a base to help it snow.
Look up Operation Popeye. See if that's a thing. And then they're saying that HARP,
Oh yeah.
they say HARP controls the weather all the time. So we're really shitty at it then. Because you think if we could control the weather, we would just keep California, Central Valley wet and enough water to grow amazing crops. Yeah. We would stop the humidity in the south and the southeast. If we could control the weather, wouldn't we just make it? By the way, fucking love it. We'd
Operation Popeye was a military cloud seeding project carried out by the Air Force during the Vietnam War, 67 to 72. Highly classified program attempted to extend the monsoon season over specific areas of the Ho Chi Minh Trail to disrupt North Vietnamese military supplies by softening the road surfaces and causing landslides.
Again, big difference. It's like a Marjorie Taylor Greene with the CrossFit. Okay. There's pull-ups that are actually effective. And then there's these stupid fucking CrossFit pull-ups that don't do a goddamn thing.
I wanted to shove a wallet in her mouth. I was like, you are having an aneurysm. You are having a seizure. That is not a pull-up. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Having epilepsy on
did you drink bleach? Nobody does a pull-up like that.
Speaking of Popeye and spinach, this episode brought to you by HelloFresh.
Oh, another good product.
I could have done it for either one, but I went with this. HelloFresh, I love this because I don't have to think about what I'm making for dinner again.
It's always good.
It's there. It's in the fridge. It's pre-portioned meal ingredients, and each one comes in its own little bag. You tear it open.
And instructions.
It's got a QR code, or they give you giant, beautiful, full color recipe
that you can save for later.
I do. The ones that I really love, I put it in my recipe book. I have not had one I don't like yet, and sometimes so you can let HelloFresh choose your meals. I do 4 meals 3 times a week is what I choose. And that way we have leftovers. But you can do 1 time a week for 2 people. No, you don't choose 4
meals 3 times a week. That's a lot of meals. You choose 4 servings 3 times a week.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
3 times a week for 4 people is what I choose.
Then the next day we have lunch.
Yes. And it's a perfectly arranged with 2 sides and a protein with the sauce or whatever it is. It's insane.
When I cooked it once, I actually sent her a picture. Leftovers. I sent pictures. I set it up like the picture. I could click. Hey, it worked.
It always tastes like restaurant quality. Yep. I'm never not surprised. And so sometimes I just let HelloFresh choose, or you can go and pick your recipes. But I like sometimes to let them choose because they'll send things that obviously they're proud of. And then I get to try new things and learn how to cook new things, and which I have. And now I have rotating recipes in my regular stuff that I originally tried or was taught to make on HelloFresh.
We've used them for a long time. And I will say this, there's products that we advertise, and it's all, like you said, I'm never not surprised. Every time there's something new, I'm like, wow, what is this?
Yeah.
I feel like whenever the box shows up and I just open it up, it's like I open it up and like my mom pops out, or like who's a 5-star chef with the thing, just like
you're like, hello chef.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can choose fit and wholesome, quick and easy. You can choose vegetarian. There's all different options that you can choose, and the menus change every week, and it's a menu of over 50 recipes every week that you can pick from. Plus they now have over 100 market add-on items like desserts, breakfast, and snacks. The egg bites for breakfast are awesome. There's different flavors of those. The last time we got
and they're fresh too, because
chicken dumplings. Did you get those?
Yes, they're really good.
Those were so good.
I got the egg bites, and I went and cracked one of the boxes, and because it had been sitting there for a minute, and there was a date on it. I'm like, they're not just like over like preservatives and stuff. It was fresh. It was great.
Yeah, fresh food. It's excellent. But those chicken dumplings were the shit.
Yes, they were.
So you can get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/FirstTitus. No, I lied. That says free Titus. I'm blind. 10 free meals, HelloFresh.com/free Titus. It's like Free Willy. Applied across 7 boxes, new subscribers only. Varies by what plan you choose. So that's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/free Titus. America's #1 meal kit. Market items, you got to try them. When I looked at the what is
menu?
It? No,
website.
The macros on the what is the word I'm trying to think of? Nutrition facts on the chicken dumplings, because they're just to throw in the oven and bake really fast or do in a pan.
Pre-made.
I was shocked at how good for you they were. And it was it took, I think, 5 minutes or something like that to make. Anyway, HelloFresh, they've got pumpkin spice stuff right now too in their market. So go try it out.
We're not advertising for them today, but I want to say macros on Magic Spoon cereal too. Same thing where you're like, what?
Yeah.
This seems impossible.
Yeah.
I do like being surprised because of Lumen. I check everything now, and sometimes I'm really shocked at things I was eating. Like there was this yakisoba from Costco that I loved, and it's just a little bowl of noodles with vegetables in it. Healthy, right? 69 grams of carbs.
Wow.
It's really ruined my good time.
I ruined everybody today by bringing pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah, I'm done.
Because one of our other advertisers, it gives
all
you,
my carbs.
it gives you, I looked at, I'm on a low carb day, I'm like, oh, I'm done now.
Exactly.
I thought the same thing.
So FEMA is there's a lot of disinformation about those $750 hurricane disaster payments as well. Biden said today that obviously that's not all they're doing.
Obviously.
That's just to get you through.
Yeah, here's some money to go get some water. Here's some money to actually, yes, exactly.
Yeah, especially if you've just lost everything. And it's Donald Trump pushing that disinformation.
Because he's got nothing. Here's the problem with this guy. There is nothing. He cannot point to anything he did because everything he did when he was president was a failure. He inherited an economy from Obama. Obama took, we had 12% unemployment because of the mortgage crisis when Obama took over. Obama took it from 12% to 3.8%. He took black unemployment from 17% to 8.8%. And then he handed it to Trump. Trump was handed a fucking gift.
Yes, just like his daddy.
Biden took over when unemployment was 14%. Stores were empty. The supply chain was broken. We had thousands of people dying every day. And here you go. Now your turn. And Biden turned it all around. He got all of us vaccinated. Stores got full. The supply chain got fixed. Infrastructure got done. CHIPS Act. And you go, how the fuck are you people even going? Yeah, this guy's got it going on. You know, it was better under Trump, was it?
I'm blown away by it. It was the most stressful 4 years of my life. And I took care of my mother with pancreatic cancer. That at least had reward to it.
But here
so I just want to talk about this FEMA payment because it's being lied about. And so it's called Serious Needs Assistance. It's an upfront direct payment, like we said, to help people get stuff that they need right now.
Food, water.
How it's being delivered is also being lied about. You can get it direct deposited to your bank. You can get a preloaded debit card. You can use it to buy anything. It's not a loan. Trump is saying it's a loan. It's not a loan. Also, it's a program that was just started in March of this year. So under the Biden administration.
So it's a new program that Biden,
It's not a loan. You keep it, you spend it, you're going to get more. After that, there are all kinds of assistance that you can apply for if you've lost your home, obviously.
The SBA just came up with a new thing that was introduced to the SBA that they're going to really go after helping people get their businesses back up and running too.
They said it just means that you're now in our system to then apply for whatever you're going to need to rebuild your home. Also, there's other things that they can apply for: temporary housing, medical care, funeral services for loved ones, the cost for damaged personal property like computers, appliances. There's a lot of stuff that FEMA is doing right now.
Are you telling me that Trump was lying? Wait.
Yes.
Donald Trump was lying.
Already more than 1 million households have been approved for that first payment. They've already dedicated $780.7 million in that.
Wow.
Just in that initial program for people. I know FEMA's on the ground because, like I said, I have a family member that's there to help them. Just
on the first, Helene, was it the name of the first hurricane? 6,600 FEMA workers are on the ground helping.
Yeah.
They're actually sending, they have all the equipment there, so they're sending more equipment out from the West Coast now to get there for this new hurricane that's going. So the Biden administration is kicking ass with this, and this dickhead just keeps getting up and lying.
And it's not out of money. He said they were out of money. He said that the 750, he said in Butler at that rally when he did his Elon Musk.
Wow.
Here's that silver lining, though.
Hold on. He said, let me just finish this. He said, because I was mid-sentence, that they were offering a lump sum of $750 to people whose homes had been destroyed. He said to people whose homes have been washed away, think of it, we give foreign countries hundreds of billions of dollars, and we're handing North Carolina $750. And that's why people are mad. Carry on.
So
Trump was continuing his lying on Fox News, and Fox News, who traditionally is his propaganda machine. He was fact checked in real time because he was lying about on Fox News.
Wow.
For what? At Butler?
We have to look it up. It was about Kamala visiting, the hurricane.
Right.
And he said she hasn't shown up. She should be there. She's not there. What? And then she goes. The interviewer from Fox News goes, "She's there today. She's been there for 3 hours."
I love when Fox News is like,
so
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm seeing some cracks and some pushback
Cavuto,
on him.
Cavuto, who's sometimes really pro-Trump, Cavuto has called him out like 3 or 4 times now, and it's not making any difference. That's the problem. Here's my prediction today. I think what's going to happen, I think he's going to lose by such a number that the number is going to be so big that he's going to go, it's impossible for me to lose at that number. That's why it's all rigged. 60 Minutes, go watch this last week's 60 Minutes. I'm going to watch it tonight. They did a nice chunk about how the election was not stolen. So if you have the balls to actually face that you were wrong for the last 8 years, you should watch 60 Minutes this week.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that there's people that are there's one of those women that's a part of the RNC, right? She's in Arizona or something. They go, so there's no evidence that there was any kind of, election stealing. There was no, in any precinct in the country, there wasn't enough votes to change any outcome at all. You know how we know that? Because all these fucking Republicans still got elected. Mm-hmm. So if the election was rigged, then we got to take all those guys out too. They're all out, right? Mm-hmm. So he goes, do you still believe that it was rigged? She goes, yes, I do believe it. Well, you're an idiot then. Then you're an idiot. Because if you I don't care what you believe is not a fact. I believe that the sun was made out of pudding and it's just really hot pudding. That's what I believe, but I'm wrong.
So it was Laura Ingraham that fact checked him, and she's big Trump fan.
Wow.
He said that Harris, and this is the thing too. Now they've switched it to Kamala, and she's doing this. She only offered $750. Kamala's the vice president, first of all. Yep. She's just there to support the president's policies, but okay. But he was bitching about that, and she interrupted him and said those funds are for immediate needs. Then he moved on and said Harris hadn't been to the areas affected like North Carolina, and she cut in to say she was there today for 3 hours, I believe. Then Alina Habba goes on to Fox, criticizing Kamala Harris for appearing on that Call Her Daddy podcast. Then this is the kind of misinformation they spread that gets people about a disaster where people are dying. There are still people missing. There are babies floating in the water, and we're on podcasts. That's what the Harris team is doing. Martha McCallum said, where did you see that report of a baby floating in the water? Habba says, we have absolutely heard there are children floating. Then she goes, there's missing bodies, dead bodies. Well, we know that. There are dead people up to 200. And then she kind of trailed off. And she goes, this is the problem. It's not misinformation. It's fact. And Martha
you can't say misinformation and then say it's fact.
Martha McCallum asked her, give me the evidence. Where did you see that? And then do you see how quickly she flipped?
Switch gears, yeah.
It's not misinformation. It's a fact. Well, then people are like, yeah, it's a fact. And they're trying to cover it up.
We were going over what he says. You know what? Everybody knows it. He says the craziest shit in the world. You know what? Everybody knows it.
Everybody's saying
They're saying
it's a psychological trick. It's a sales trick that he used for years.
Yes.
It's a sales trick that makes you go, oh, I must be dumb. Everybody knows it. I don't know it. I don't. You're right. Yeah. Right.
Because we are wired to want to agree with the group.
Right.
As a community for our safety
you know
through
it,
evolution.
everybody knows it.
Yeah. So
and if you don't know it, then you're out of the group. You're out of everybody. You're not.
We know how to make fire. This is how you do it.
Right.
All that.
Right.
So he'll use. It's such a God. He's got everybody by the dumb. He's got the army of dumb by the balls.
But I mean, there's people that are very successful and are still buying his bullshit. And we fact check it all the time on this thing, on this podcast. We fact check it all the fucking time, and he's full of shit.
You can be super successful and be a fucking nut idiot like Elon Musk. What the fuck is wrong with him?
Elon Musk showed us that it doesn't matter. You can be the richest man on the planet Earth, but you can't buy cool. You can be the richest man on the planet, and you cannot buy, be fit.
Happy.
Yeah.
You cannot buy happy. You cannot buy your kids
Healthy
loving you.
relationships.
You cannot buy empathy. You cannot buy sympathy. And I mean, he's got a kid who's trans, and he just basically disowned them. Woke mind virus. It's like you can have all the money in the world, and it just goes to show that you can still be the biggest loser.
Speaking of having everything in the world, this episode brought to you by AG1.
Yay! I was always waiting for the AG1 could have worked on any of your setups.
I know.
You've actually now vagued your
Spinach.
segues. Not yet. You've actually done a good job.
Yeah, but today I find that because we advertise what we love, it
Ends up being healthy stuff.
it does, because we turn down stuff that
All
we
the time.
would not put in our bodies or eat. AG1, of course, you guys know this, made us use it for 30 days before they would let us take their money to talk about it. And so
Which I
we
love
were
about it.
even more intrigued by
I
this
love any
product.
company that has the balls to go, don't advertise this yet. Try this.
My sister actually just called me the other night. You heard her, and she's having like stomach
issues.
stuff. And she knows I did too. And she was asking me, like, what should I eat? She goes, I already know. She goes, AG1. She goes, so I start with that in the morning on an empty stomach. And she said that she instantly feels better after she has it, because it has prebiotics and it's got everything in it, but prebiotics, probiotics, gut supporting ingredients to support digestion. It also reduces bloating, which she said she noticed, and keep you regular. I didn't ask her about that.
Guy that invented it did it because he was having gut issues. He didn't do it because I'm going to invent this product called AG1 and make $1 million. He was like, I don't feel good. Let me invent something that works.
Yeah. So they did a research study, and in that 80% of people noticed less gas and bloating after 30 days. Also, 97% of participants in another study felt their digestion had improved after 90 days. Can confirm. And it was shown to double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut. So I just mix mine with a little bit of water in their shaker bottles, which I love. Just 1 scoop of the powder, a little bit of the little squirt of the vitamin D3K2, shake it up, done for the day. It takes
And it's
2
easy
seconds.
to take. It's not a thing where you're like, oh God, I got to take this stuff. It's green. It tastes fine. You can down it.
I
It's
don't know
easy.
how they make it taste.
I'm
fine.
not going to ask. I don't want to know.
If you go read what's in it, you guys should go to their website if you're interested and just see what's in it. It's over 75 whole food source superfoods. So think about what those might be.
Some of the ingredients are so healthy, it scares salads. And yet they still make it taste pretty good.
And vitamins, minerals, adaptogens, things like that. I mean, you're done. You cannot have a medicine cabinet. You can just have AG1. And I bet if you looked at how much you spent at the vitamin shop or somewhere on all that crap that you pee out, my old probiotics alone were $100 at Whole Foods, the refrigerated ones. And I don't need that anymore. I just do this every day. But yeah, go read what's in it, and you'll be amazed. You're gonna think it's gonna taste like poop. And it doesn't. It tastes like fruity, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's pleasant.
It is pleasant. Non-GMO, no added sugar, and it just fills those nutrient gaps and supports your gut for healthy digestion. So you can start with AG1. You'll notice the difference for yourself. It's a great first step to investing in your health. That's why we've been with them for so long and want to continue using it forever. Try AG1, get a free bottle of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/Titus. That's a $48 value for free if you go to drinkag1.com/Titus. Check it out.
I do want to remind people that what we started with the podcast, that this guy continues to commit treason. Talking to Vladimir Putin when he's at war with a country we're supporting is as a former president is pretty much seditionist. You're that's treasonous.
Right.
You're a traitor. You're talking to an enemy of our state. And then while we needed in America, we needed these COVID testing machines, he was sending them to Russia
for his personal use.
For his it wasn't to get to help the Russian people. It was to help
like he usually does.
Putin. So we are at a place now where you have to face the fact that this guy, he's, and all these people that are, middle class, lower middle class that support him. I just want to go, he did nothing for you. Why do you keep saying that? because there's nothing you got out of
He
it.
somehow has Jedi mind tricked people into thinking that he is just like they are.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get rid of him and keep him down because he's trying to help them
Right.
and champion them.
Which is what Hitler did.
And people
It's exactly
saying
what Hitler
Trump
did.
derangement syndrome. We're not sitting here talking about the things he did 8 years ago, although God knows we could.
We're also not making stuff up.
It's that he won't go away and he won't stop lying and he won't stop hurting people by lying, like
Yeah.
the people in this storm. So every day he interjects himself into the news cycle and there's something new. And now, for fuck's sakes, he's running for president again.
How is it possible we have a felon? You can't vote if you're a felon, but he can run for president. How the fuck is that possible?
So the Logan Act actually, it's a U.S. federal law that criminalizes the negotiation of a dispute between the U.S. and a foreign government by an unauthorized American citizen. So you know how he's been talking to Putin, we know, at least 7 times. We know he said at the debate that he already knows he could end the Ukraine-Russia
day.
war in a day.
Mhm.
In a day.
So which means they're working deals behind. So he's working deals with Putin behind it to actually, and Zelensky's got to be like, I feel Zelensky's got like, really, is this really? He's talking to Putin. How is that even possible?
Trump says, I have good friends with Putin. Well, right next to Zelensky. Like they were in the same
Oh,
fucking.
yeah.
He was
Oh,
like,
I know.
You're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah. Zelensky
Yeah.
was like,
I'm fighting this guy. What the fuck? You're
tell you,
buddies with
yeah.
my enemy?
Yep.
and he puts down his glass. Zelensky puts down his glass. I'm good. I had some water in the car. I'm fine. I don't want anything. No. Yeah. No. I didn't want lunch. Not having lunch with you.
Not hungry at all.
Not at
Nope.
all.
Lost
Not in
my
the least. No. By the way, I want to talk. We have some merch behind Ray. Ray's right behind you. You want to get these guys? My new show. I'm kind of talking about.
There's all kinds of. There's hats, right?
Yeah.
Mugs.
Stickers.
Quit
Just, you
being
need
weird.
it right now because
It's just an overarching thing.
especially
It's
right now.
It's that. Yeah. Quit being everybody. You know, anybody who, if you're still worried about pronouns now in the midst of this psychopath might be president, if you're mad that people are calling you the wrong name, quit being weird. Let's all come together as Americans and focus on what's right. If you actually still think this guy, that someone's eating the dogs and cats that Haitians came here to eat dogs and cats, you quit being weird. What the fuck are you talking about? And so go get our Quit Being Weird merch. It says got the Titus Podcast logo on the back. Support us any way you can. Also coming up in 2 weeks. Next weekend, right? Next weekend.
What?
We're
18th?
gonna be in Brea. My 2 LA shows are gonna be Brea and at Flappers.
Yep.
Those are coming up.
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday of next week.
Mhm.
What are the dates on that exactly?
18 and 19, I believe.
18 and 19.
Let me make
then
17 and 18. I lied. Thursday the 17th, Brea, one show only. The 18th, Flappers in Burbank. And then the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday is going to be Rooster T. Feathers, which is the weirdest name for a place, but we're going because you're returning to your kindergarten classroom.
It is my kindergarten classroom. Rooster Teeth Feathers was a place, used to be called the Country Store.
When you were doing
when
it?
I started at 19. I got to work there a couple of open mic nights when I was 19. Then it became Rooster Teeth Feathers, and Tony Modica, he doesn't own it anymore, but he owned it
that
there.
was Tony Monica?
But he owned it, and he kept going. Keep doing what you're doing. He's one of those guys that one of my comedy fathers. He was like,
he's a
keep
nice
going,
guy.
keep doing it.
Was
I'm giving you a headline gig. I got the headline in my first headlining gig there. It was so we're going
Nice.
back. Ray's never been there, and we have a new Titus that's going to hit the stage.
Is
night.
that place sounds like the place from Blues Brothers? Is there like chicken wire?
No.
with
The
with
country store
bottles?
was like that. The country
Oh.
store, but they remodeled it and it became the Sunnyvale of Silicon Valley. Because before Silicon Valley, Sunnyvale was a little rough,
Mhm.
and then Silicon Valley happened, and now it's very nice.
Oh.
But they had literally the country store had a sign that said "Check your knives, guns." And ex-wives at the door. It was very funny. And so we'll be there, and then we're going to go to the Crest Theater in Sacramento.
Friday, 10:25,
Yep.
Crest Theater in
All new
Sacramento. My brother is texting me from Florida. And
Any news?
No. No, we're just always talking about the dumbest shit. I told him yesterday, I said, this is going to be exactly how we will text when it's Armageddon. We'll argue about a volcano because he knows that he's getting me completely riled
A
up.
couple of fart jokes.
And I can always tell when he's in his flare, in his
She calls
Tactical
outfit.
gear.
his tactical gear. She calls it
Flare.
flare.
Yeah.
There's
he's
no
like
buttons
he's
on
like
it.
almost a special. He
he's
has so
got a
much
lot
training.
of-
He's like a
He's not
special
working
ops
a
guy.
thing.
He's in his flare,
It's not TGIF.
Yeah.
We fucking-
his
He's-
Kev flare.
His So I always know when he's in his bulletproof costume and stuff because he's text totally different. Becomes very like 3 words, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I
All caps.
Are you there?
A lot of acronyms.
Yes.
Calls her Eagle.
That's all he says.
Calls her Eagle One a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
On the
if
move.
I say, did they arm you? I armed myself.
Head on a swivel.
I go, I mean with a long gun when you got there, because he travels with his gun, and he goes, pray tell for what? And I said, for the crazy people, and he goes, I am
the
crazy people.
I am the crazy people.
Check your
What's the
six.
current wind like? I am the wind. Oh God.
Shut
Oh,
up!
God.
Why is this like a Chuck Norris movie? What,
But that's
Steven
when
Seagal.
he puts his stuff on. She says he just totally.
Then I
becomes-
said,
he locks
where?
it down.
I said, where are you sleeping? I'm stressed. This one's got me stressed,
Yeah.
right? He says, with the fishes was his response to that. I meant hotel.
I'll put you to sleep.
Then he said, I'm getting my digs in before I lose all service. And I said, please wear a hard hat. There's an historic storm coming your way. And he goes, there's also a historic storm. He's arguing with me about
I love that he's
Grammar.
giving me like grammar stuff. As the Doppler radar was like no shit. The Doppler
yeah.
radar was
Get the
it
fuck
was
out.
it was crazy looking.
Then he tries to type Aryan Nation and he puts Ariana Nation. And it's just like this whole thing. And
That's a very nice nation. That's
Ariana Grande
Ariana
I
fans.
said,
Very nice.
I
Very
imagine,
nice
he
girls.
said, well, she is Grande. So
Yeah.
I said, I imagine this is what our Armageddon text will be like. The world is ending and we're arguing about a volcano and making Ariana Grande jokes. And he said, I'm okay with that. And I said, I am too. So yeah, my brother and I have found a way, I thought yesterday, to disagree and not pretend we don't disagree, like I have to do with a lot of my family,
Right.
Or choose to do so that I can have them in my life. We can disagree, send each other links back and forth, and then end up with that to close out the conversation. Like we can still be best buddies, but not, yeah. I just told him to look for those 2 gents who were surfing. Make sure you find those guys.
Yeah, just get their bodies.
Then October 26th, so the day after the Crest, we're going to be in Fresno at the Tower Theater.
That all got
so-
worked out at the tower. Tower's great now.
Yeah, they sold it. It was sold.
The church sold it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been
Good.
so Sunnyvale Thursday, Sacramento Friday, Fresno Saturday. You guys can come see us. And then
Should
Baltimore.
we tell them who's gonna do the opening? We should. Tell
No.
them. All right.
No, not till later.
Okay.
Let's see,
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, we don't want to
Let's see how it
we
goes.
don't want to
Let's
associate
say
with that.
surprise guest.
Yeah, exactly. It's also not great for him,
Oh, right.
like it wasn't for me. But everybody will know just from this conversation. But we just don't want to announce it until we're sure he doesn't tank it. Also, we have Baltimore coming up, Arlington, one show only, just got added, Columbus, Lexington. We have so many dates, so go check out the tour page.
And we're adding more dates. I am working my butt off this year. I want this new show to be in shape. This new show, Indianapolis was great. What did we do this last weekend? Where were we?
Montana?
Montana was great. We did a bar in my pub station in Montana in Billings. That was just phenomenal, and it was like literally. Whenever I write something, I always worry. This show's about like the history of America and the Titus is through history and where we are and why, but it's not political in a way that like I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not going this guy that this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing like I do here. It's just kind of an overall where we came from, where the Titus came from. And on Pub Station, it was so good. The audience was so in tune, and they're all wearing
They
like
were
trucker
great.
caps and stuff and
You're welcome.
flannel, and they were great. And then we did a theater in Bozeman. That was great too. Just good people. It was just good.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah,
good.
I love getting out there, man. Everybody that says I want to. this show, I do it. There's a bit I do about immigration, and then I get done with it, and I go, I want you guys to know I broke that in Alabama, and they all go, no, I'm like, yes. So because if I break stuff in California or the East Coast or liberal areas, I'm just a punk.
You don't know if it works.
Yeah, I'm just
You
a
gotta
punk.
throw it-
But if I throw it into the most hardcore red area
Yep.
and it still works, it's still funny.
Yeah.
There you go.
Claude Monet painting was stolen by the Nazis during World War II. Just thought this was a fun fact.
Just breaking news.
Banished for decades, appeared recently with a Louisiana art dealer. And so the FBI started investigating it, and it's now been returned to the descendants of the original owners, the last owner of record that it was stolen from. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a nice little windfall.
Someone just got a couple $100 million, maybe
No,
10
no.
million.
This is one of his pastels. So,
Oh, it's like a sketch.
Yeah,
you
did,
know,
yeah. He did it.
it's-
Yeah,
It's on eBay already.
right. Crayons.
Yeah,
It was
no,
one of his
they
crayon
made
drawings.
they made a lot of money, but I don't know that it would be like the paintings. Anyway, carry on. Just wanted to
All right,
share
now we're
that.
going to talk about what happened. 4 years ago today, or
4
2 years
years ago
Are we going
today.
4 years? 4 years ago today,
Well, and 2 years ago today.
and 2 years today.
So-
Right.
right.
4 years ago today. This is where we were with the past administration.
Yeah, if you really think we were better off, let's just talk about some things that actually happened then.
Cool.
2 associates of President Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, were arrested for allegedly trying to funnel foreign money to U.S. politicians, including a pro-Trump re-election committee. Prosecutors revealed on that day the suspects, Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman,
Yep.
helped Giuliani in his effort to dig up dirt on former Vice President Joe Biden in Ukraine.
And Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah.
This was when they were arrested at the airport.
Yes, they were trying to leave. In fact, Rachel Maddow did a thing called to Russia with Lev.
Right? Yeah.
And Lev Parnas, who's flipped the other way now, he realizes what a scumbag he was. Met with him. So it's a fairly fascinating documentary how this guy was used and who this guy was. And then he sits down with Hunter Biden and apologizes to him.
Oh, no
It's
shit.
a trip, man.
Huh.
It's good for yeah. See if you can find. It's probably online too.
It's weird.
They've been re-airing it on MSNBC.
It's pretty awesome, and he flat out comes out. And Giuliani's a criminal. Trump's a criminal.
Huh.
Just
He
flat,
tells him that
and he was working with him. He was
that
with
they
them.
got his private bank records.
Right.
Hunter
They
Biden
got
was
Hunter
like,
Biden
"You
pri-
got my."
and-
He
and Hunter
like,
goes, How did you get my bank records? He goes, we just got them, man.
"Yes." Didn't
I'm
he
so
say
sorry.
with the FBI there were people at the FBI that
That were
helped,
working
or
for them, yes.
someone that under Trump,
Yep.
ordered it, got it done.
Weaponized the.
I forgot about that when they were trying to escape. I remember that day and thinking, "This is it. We got him.
Mhm.
We got him."
How many times did we say
So
that?
people, yeah, every day. That's why when you said it
Fuck.
today, I was like, just stop.
Jesus Christ.
So that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago, that 2 guys that Giuliani hired to get dirt on Biden and Hunter and through the Trump administration got arrested. That okay.
Like looking at all these, we've done these now every episode for what month, maybe
Yeah,
2 months. Every time I look up the day
Mhm.
for Trump, I just do Trump
Yeah.
that day. It is a fucking example of crime.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crime,
every
crime,
time.
crime.
I always say it was like every morning waking up with the dude, it was like cutting the red wire on a bomb. You're like, what
Yeah.
now? What?
And then every day when I look up the Biden Harris thing,
Yeah.
it's always support.
It's like,
They announced we're gonna a new program.
what was it?
So this one is hold on.
I like he doesn't even know.
Yeah, he just knows it's
he
gonna
just
be.
knows it's going to be good.
Let's see.
'Cause-
So Biden,
2 years ago.
yes, started with the Department of Commerce and NOAA
Yep.
with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, announced a $26 million funding invested over 4 years in the National Weather Service.
Which Trump wants to kill, by the way.
Yeah, and the National Mosinee Program and the National Integrated Drought Information System to support the development of a transformative federal-state private partnership to provide improved early warning for drought, flooding, fire, and other natural hazards as President Biden's Investing in America agenda under the bipartisan infrastructure law.
So
NOAA is who published the research paper about the volcano my brother sent me.
So here's the thing. Do you remember when Trump took a Sharpie and drew the hurricane path to cover the money he had sent to the governor of Alabama? That's what happened. He pre-sent money to Alabama, and then when the hurricane turned, it wasn't going to hit Alabama, and Alabama didn't need the billions. Trump drew a picture. No, they still need the billions.
Yep.
They still need the billions. So he wants to kill NOAA. He wants to kill it. Whereas Biden wants to make it more effective so we can get ahead of it, so we don't have people dying in North Carolina or Florida. I just love that this guy does his fucking job, and he's done his job every day, and this other dickhead is just trying to do it for himself. I'm so mad. I'm going to probably get flagged.
I do want to say, though, we just had the 1 year. I don't even like calling it an anniversary, but it's been a year since the attack on Israel.
Yep.
And so now they're in Iran because of Hezbollah.
Did that happen? Did that start?
Yeah. So, but Hezbollah rockets have killed the first Israeli civilians since the start of the ground war on Lebanon. But this is what we were talking about. You know, the people that fight these wars. It's not them that die. The leaders, I mean, it's the innocent people that die. Biden talked to Netanyahu today for 30 minutes for the first time in I think over 7 weeks.
I know she was on the phone too. Kamala was on the phone too. I will say this, and I was driving yesterday, and I kept thinking they were talking about the Iran bombing them, and that they were interviewing some guys in Israel. They're like, no, it's going to be bad. They're going to try to end this, which is not going to go well for anybody. But so the Jews have been attacked for 1,200 years before Christ. And yet everybody keeps saying the Jews run everything. So if they've been attacked for 1,200 years before Christ, if they ran something, wouldn't they not be attacked? Or
there wouldn't have been a second attack.
Are they just playing a really, really long game, a 3,200-year long game?
Right.
Where
So
they keep dying.
Yeah, where they keep dying and genocide. Yeah. Because no, but I have never met a maniacal Jewish person that was like, we're running the world. It's never happened. They're like, just leave us alone.
Yeah, it's
just
the opposite.
Just please leave us.
Yeah.
Just leave us be. And it's funny to me that it's like they've become this weird. They're the Charlie Brown of religions. They just are the scapegoat for everything. And there's no evidence in 3,200 fucking years that they should be.
I'm just picturing Charlie Brown with a yarmulke as well, or a little.
Maybe he has hair. Maybe he's already wearing one. It's just
Maybe
flesh
it's just a
colored.
flesh
There
colored,
you go.
yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, I didn't mean in Iran because you said, is that happening? I meant with Iran in Lebanon because Hezbollah.
180 rockets they sent in basically the Iron Dome, and they shot down pretty much everything. But one person.
I am confused by Holocaust denial. Why?
Yeah.
What is why? So obviously, I always know what Russian disinformation is being pumped through fringe sites and social media when I hear from my dad the latest thing that's been said, and this is totally random to me. Like that Laura Loomer chick. It's coming up a lot now.
Right.
Denying the Holocaust to the point where it's actually happened fringy in my own family. And that has me completely freaked out. So
Yeah, it doesn't make
Germany acknowledges that it happened.
Right.
Yeah,
where
inventors
it
of it.
happened.
Yeah.
They have a Holocaust memorial.
The engineers.
They have a Holocaust museum that
Right.
my mom took her students to. We had the Nuremberg trials. We could see that. There's evidence of that. What in the absolute F? There are people alive now who there are still survivors.
Yeah. With the numbers.
With the tattoos,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So make it make sense.
There was
What
no-
does it,
But the
it's
stupid never makes sense.
It's another form of genocide to deny them that history. But I still am so confused about why
It's the same reason.
they want.
It's 100% the same reason why these rednecks talk about CRT and they want to actually not tell anybody about slavery. It's exactly the same thing. Because here's what I think. In your heart, the people that believe this are still fucking full out racist psychopaths.
Yeah.
And so instead of having it in their face being taught in schools, and it's, by the way, the slavery is just history. The Holocaust is just history. It happened. they don't get to live in the hatred. So what their hatred is now is you're making everybody look bad. It didn't happen. Holocaust. Now they can still hate. And they're still
doing the same thing about black people.
That's what I'm saying about slavery. Yes, exactly. They're doing, it's the same. It's the same fucking morons. It's the same morons. And what they want to do is they don't want to. If they have to learn about slavery, they'd be like, "Oh my god, that's fucking horrible." If they have to learn that what the Nazis did to the Jews, like it's not just they kept them in camps and killed them. That's an easy way to say it. If you look at the way they got killed, if you look at the way slaves were treated, then you have to face the horror. But what happens is by denying it, you get to dehumanize everybody, and then it's easy to get away from it. But if you have to face it, it may change your views.
I'm baffled by why you wouldn't want to face the horror because A, you would want to acknowledge people's suffering, and B, you would want to be better.
That's
right?
you. That's you and us. That's you. That's normal thinking people. Yes. People with empathy. Yes. But racists and people that think they're better or think they had stuff taken from them, they need an excuse.
It does feel like you're onto something about hate is a motivator, and they like to, if hate feels good to them.
Power.
And hate feels like power. It's
That's
not,
what's happening in my dad's house.
And Trump, he got in 2016. He got in through stirring up the hate, and it motivated that crowd, and they just got on board. And you're right, the Holocaust is also something that brings up a hatred towards a group of people. So it's right in line. It's right in line with...
I think if you're a racist, if you're anti-Semitic, you have to... the Holocaust, if you have to admit the Holocaust happened, and it was the horror show that it was, and you're a racist, you have to... It fucks with your views.
Yeah.
And like you said, anger and hate, it feels like power. It's not.
Yeah.
And the same with slavery. CRT, man. Yeah, critical race theory. So you actually think that because I've never had this problem. I've never had a problem. And I found out that Tituses didn't own any slaves. I found that out, but it's because we couldn't afford them. We weren't successful enough to have slaves. Yeah. That's what I found out through history. What happens is everybody has this thing like, we're not blaming you for slavery. I never think, even if my family did own slaves because we've been here 400 years, if they did, I'd be like, I didn't own slaves, so that was wrong, and I can just admit it. But these people don't want to admit that. They'd have to admit that. They'd have to stop being racist. If they.
And there's also large factions within the right wing that are what the fuck? Oh Jesus! Who are these white supremacist groups?
Right.
They're hardcore right wingers.
Well, I know in the Middle East it's a problem, and that's why my mom took her students on a field trip to Germany to the museums to see all the pretty art, and did not put on the itinerary and did a little side trip to the Holocaust Museum. Took all of her 20-something-year-old students, and she said some of them cried. They had been taught their whole lives that it didn't happen. And they were stunned. She said one guy looked at her and said, "Professor, why have my parents lied to me?" Because they were looking at the faces of people.
Yes.
And it's scary because it's becoming even more difficult because the number of survivors, there's a point where we're even farther removed from it. Also, I was just looking at who denies it. Also, Hamas, Palestine.
Yeah. Here's the funny.
Syria,
they deny the Holocaust,
Iran,
yet one of their tenets of their whole thing is to wipe the Jews from the planet. But the Holocaust didn't happen. But we need to wipe the Jews from the one we're working on. Possibly going to happen. But the one so it's literally in their rules, and that's why when people start talking about how, look, innocent people dying shouldn't happen. But I put this out because it's complicated. And I'll say it again. If a country had attacked Coachella and killed 1,600 American kids, then raped and dismembered them, and someone said that this came up on the news the other day, they raped and dismembered them, and then we attacked that country, and then we were held up as the bad guys. Be like, they killed and dismembered and raped our kids. Someone said, and was it Rachel Maddow who said it the other night? Rachel Maddow goes, listen, we had 2 airplanes slam into buildings, and she added it up. 3,000 people died, and she said if you take those 1,600 and you base it on, if you compare population to population, that would be like someone coming in and killing 35,000 Americans. We went to war for 20 years
That's what
and killed hundreds of thousands of people for 3,002 buildings.
Yes.
If you killed 35,000 Americans, that country would be that we turn that into a go-kart track. It'd be a go-kart facility after it was leveled.
And the other example is Pearl Harbor. Japan
Harbor
attacked us,
again.
killed, however many, about the same amount at the port. We fucking leveled 2 cities full of civilians
Yeah.
after we bomb raided them.
But that's what's funny. Now, I'm not saying either of this is right, but you cannot deny a sovereign nation living in peace. Those kids weren't attacking. They weren't attacking, Hamas. They were dancing in the desert. They were having a party.
Yes.
And they got attacked. And so when people,
where is the end?
but that's the,
Right.
so,
Because
and I agree.
innocent
I'll
Gazans-
say this. It's time for Netanyahu to be better than Hamas. I would agree with that. It's time. By the way, they just killed another leader of Hezbollah yesterday. The
They
second guy
killed the leader. Then the new guy
I am the
was
new
like,
leader.
I got
Dead.
the job. Killed him.
Now there's a new guy. Bob, you're the leader. Nope. Nope. I'm actually
They haven't announced a new leader.
No, they have
because
not.
nobody will take it. They're like,
It's
no.
like when Obama was president and they kept getting a new guy at Al Qaeda. All right, second guy got moved. They killed the first guy, new guy, and they're like 7 in a row. They just kept new leader of Al Qaeda.
Haven't they watched any of our World War II movies? Like,
Haven't they
don't
just
salute.
looked at our history. We don't mess around. And so I don't deny any country the right to protect itself if it was attacked. And we have to face the fact that Israel was attacked. And Hamas, 100%, it says in their charter that they need to wipe the Jews from the planet.
Yeah.
And at one point you go, it's not a football game. They want to commit, and they want to end the Jewish people.
And they wrote it down.
Yeah,
That's
they
just
wrote
a
it
weird.
Exactly. It's typed into a document at that point.
Oh my God.
It wasn't just someone offhandedly said
Yeah, it was like a speech, like a Hitler speech.
But it is time. I think it is time for Netanyahu to be better than Hamas. But Netanyahu, I mean, his own people were kind of upset with him. It's complicated, and when you on a stupid podcast with some comedians talking about it, it's probably not the best place to be talking about it. But my opinion is, I see Israel's not going to stop until people stop. And Israel, and this, I remember I said this when it happened. I said when a year ago that happened, I said, "Oh shit!" I go, they attacked Israel. I go, you don't understand. Israel's got a chip on its shoulder because for 3,200 years Israel has been as a scapegoat. So if you attack Israel, Israel doesn't stop. They come hard. They come, and so we just innocent people dying is fucking horrible.
And it's a weird.
Same with Iraq. Same with Iraq too. 100,000 innocent civilians died in the war with Iraq. It's fucking horrible.
So Donald Trump was on Hugh Hewitt's show doing an interview, and he said that Gaza is in Israel and that he's visited it.
Oh no!
I've been there, and it's rough. And yet there's no evidence of him ever having gone to Gaza.
He said he could be Monaco.
He said it could be Monaco, but they didn't capitalize on it.
If they rebuild it, it's beautiful. It's got the water. It's okay. So this war, this is who the guy. Some of you got to be leader. They said Gaza's. It's the best piece of land. He goes, it's beautiful. I've been there. He goes, it's got the water. It's got everything. He goes, do you think it could be better than Monaco? And I at one point I saw this and I thought, is this interviewer trying to fuck with him? Because you can't tee it up to Trump like that and have him not agree. He goes, oh, it could be better than Monaco. Where the people are dying right now and it's leveled. It could be better than Monaco. So if we develop that after all these dead, we clear the dead bodies.
Look at the golf courses we could have here.
What is this guy talking? You want this guy to run shit?
So that's how his campaign is responding, because he told Hugh Hewitt he had been to Gaza, and he said, it's got the best location in the Middle East, water and everything. It is the best. I've said it for years. You know when I've been there and it's rough. Okay.
I've been there. So you've never been there.
Okay. Has the best location in the Middle East, water and everything. It is the best. I've said it for years. You know when I've been there and it's rough. It's a rough place before before all the attacks and before the back and forth, what's happened over the last couple of years.
I love how you read it. Just read it straight.
I had to get it all together because you have to hear how it's the best. It's terrible.
Sure.
I've
cut
been there.
left.
It's like
a-
watching a
but
Upside
pachinko
down.
game when he talks.
Yeah.
Ding, boom, ding, ding, bum, bum, bing,
Yeah.
bong,
So
bing,
then
bing,
when
bing,
they
bong, bing, bong,
reached
bong,
out
bing, bong, bing, bong, bong,
to-
bing, bing.
they reached out to his campaign and they like, when did he go? Because
So he never went
that's
to. He's
never been
he's never
heard,
been-
seen, documented. Campaign responded, Gaza is in Israel. President Trump has been to Israel. He said he'd been to Gaza.
Plinko, right? It's
Yes,
Plinko.
yeah.
I like that. Like even his campaign is like he said what he said. He was there once.
That's why they couldn't put him on 60 Minutes.
We're focused on the future. That's not.
By the way, that's when you know you're in deep shit.
Yeah.
What about that thing when you stab those people 50 times? I'm focused on the
Focus on
future and the healing.
Look,
And
let's.
in the healing. We don't want to talk about the past. Sure, I severed many heads and put them in freezers, but we don't want to talk about that. I am now a spokesman for Amana Refrigerators because. All right, guys. Do me a favor. Go get tickets to the gigs this year, guys. The new show's coming along really well. I'm working on a new piece right now that I think that will destroy the internet. That's one. We are working on coming soon. By the way, I will be announcement for this. Coming soon is going to be Carrying Monsters, which we put up a couple clips. Those are the only clips you're going to see until it comes out. So we put those up. And do me a favor, subscribe to the podcast. Go to ChristopherTitus.com to get T-shirts, merch, everything. We got it all set up. And come see the shows, man. I love hanging out with you guys. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For myself, the lovely and talented Bombshell Ray, and the lovely and talented Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
Make it be the one.